everybody, Mike with Enviroscape LA. And I did a video yesterday talking about this mega drought that we seem to be undergoing. In fact, studies indicate that the drought in Southern California, actually it's affecting all the southwestern states, is going to go on. There's an 80% chance that it'll go on for about 10 years, and we're only in year number 3. So we're bracing for it. Well, I'm not here to talk about so much the problems, but to talk about the solutions. Did you know that on average about 65% of water that comes into the average household in Southern California actually goes out into landscaping? So what that means for us then is that we can do something about it. We can do something about the drought. Our best source of water is conservation. So here at Enviroscape LA, what we've done is we've pioneered a lot of the ways to conserve water in the landscape. You can do it with native plants, but more importantly, you take a house like this, it's a Cape Cod style house, the homeowners want to keep the lawn. They want to keep the grass. It's not much, but how do you save water in a lawn? Well, I'll tell you how you can save about 60% water right off the bat. You do subsurface drip irrigation, underground drip irrigation. That's what we did here. So the video here, this was just a regular lawn with overhead sprays. In fact, the sidewalk is kind of stained from years and years of overhead spray. What would happen is the sprinklers would pop up, they'd water, and in about 1 or 2 minutes, it'd start pouring down into the sidewalk and then go out to the ocean, taking motor oil with it and pesticides with it. So the nice thing about it now is I can turn the system on, and guess what? No runoff. In fact, the whole goal of irrigation is to hit the root zone, get water to root zone. This is going to be direct feeding to the root zone. Follow me and we'll take a look at the rest of the yard. What we have over here is we actually have the planters. Now the reason you don't see it is because when you put drip irrigation in, a good drip irrigation job is going to be covered with mulch, and you won't be able to see the mulch. The ground actually eats the mulch up, and then when you see the tubing in the future, you put more mulch down, and that feeds the soil, so it's a great indicator light. Over here, we have the white picket fence, which is everybody's dream to have a house with a white picket fence and a lawn. And if you choose to have a lawn, do the drip irrigation. Now, if you don't want to do sod, new sod, and you just want to renovate it, you don't have to take out your existing sod. We actually have a machine that actually pulls, it puts a line, a drip irrigation line, into the existing sod, and then we reseeded it. We put some topper down, and in a month or so, it's going to look like a brand new lawn. In fact, I'll probably make a video then to show you that this really does work. We have a lot of experience with this. Now, one of the questions that comes up is, what is the guts of the system? How do you fertilize everything here? Well, to answer that question, I want to show you something called a fertigation unit. But before we do that, since we have this right here, I want to show you, this is an air relief valve. You need to have an air relief valve. That way it lets all the air out of the line that's in there when the system's not working. Because when the system turns on, water jets through there, it goes poof, and it does that poof too many times, it's going to wear your system down very fast. In just a few years, the whole thing will fall apart. So highly recommend the air relief valve. I have another little box here that we installed. This is a clean out, so that we pull the pipe, the tubing out, and when the valve's on, we flush out any impurities. A drip irrigation filter is about 99% effective. Where does that 1 or 2% go? To the end of the line. So this is the end of the line. It's easily accessible. We'll be able to flush the line out once a year, and you're good to go for another year. Over here, we have the drip irrigation valves, and these are Raynard valves. And we also have the filters right here too. So it's a filter, you clean it out once a year and you're good to go. And depending on how much tubing you're using, use a high flow or low flow. It's a little more of the technical stuff, so I won't get into that. Now here's some of the magic of this system. This is called a fertigation unit. There's water that actually, there's liquid fertilizer in this thing. It has a little dye in it, so you know that it's out, it's working or it's not working. But this is spliced into the irrigation. So every time it waters, it actually feeds fertilizer to the whole system. It's a fabulous system if you're going to go with the route of drip irrigation. So this is it, folks. This is our completed job. It took us about not quite a day and a half to do this home. We need to conserve water. We're at the critical point. they're not expecting much water this year. So we need to start thinking conservation because it's our best source of water. This is Mike from Enviroscape LA. When you think sustainability, think Enviroscape LA.